what is the spleen?
That's a good question. So, um, in Chinese medicine, there's 12 different organs we talk about, and there can be an imbalance in one of the organs that can have many different effects. Um, when we're talking about the spleen in Chinese medicine governs a lot of things. Number one, it governs the digestion. So if someone has digestive issues, if someone has um, like a poor appetite, or difficulty losing weight, or they're overweight or obese, um, if someone has a history of eating like the wrong foods, maybe typically they have too much sugar or alcohol, um, or if they eat a lot of refined carbohydrates, this can cause a weakness in the spleen. Also, if someone is eating at the wrong times of the day, like if someone first thing in the morning when they have a lot of energy and then they skip their meal, that's one way they could be. Or they could also be eating a very large meal in the evening when they're very, very run down. Better would be first thing in the morning when there's a lot of energy, you eat your best meal, the biggest meal for breakfast. And then come evening time when you're naturally more tired or run down, you'd eat a very small meal. Like I was saying earlier today with a patient that, what's an analogy so that you can understand that? First thing in the morning, if there's a lot of energy, say like the fire is hot, you put a big log of fire on, it'll burn it, it'll make a lot of energy. Whereas in the evening, if we're really run down, and it's just little embers in there, you put a big log or a lot of food right into the fire or into your digestion. Um, Unknowingly or not, it's very challenging to get that heat to go. In fact, if anything, you may just sit there, or even worse, you may just smother the fire, smother the little embers. So I think a lot of times in America or in the West, we eat these big meals for dinner time, and then we're really challenged to break down the food into energy. As a consequence, we start having a weakened spleen, we start being overweight or having low energy. So that's one thing, is the spleen governs the digestion. Also, spleen in Chinese medicine is a very, very big component to your immune system. Not for everyone. Some people with weak spleens have great immune systems, but a lot of people whose spleen energy is weak, they'll get frequent colds or infections or slow wound healing. So that has to do with the spleen's control over the immune system. A third thing is the spleen controls the strength of your muscles. So if your spleen energy is strong, then the muscles are tight and strong and healthy and young and vibrant. If the spleen energy is weak, then you could have more fat, or the muscles are just kind of weak and lax. And that isn't just perhaps muscles you see, like in the arms or in the belly or legs or things like this, but it can be more subtle than that. Sometimes people with spleen weakness, they bruise easily. You say, well, I don't get the muscle and bruising. Well, it translates because there's blood vessel walls, the blood vessels, and the walls have to be held. The integrity has to be held tight because of the strength of the muscle that keeps the walls strong. If the spleen energy is weak, then the walls aren't too strong of the blood vessels. So if you bump into something, they can break and you can bruise. So those are some of the elements of what the spleen controls. The final one I would comment is the spleen governs the mind. So when the spleen energy is strong, then someone's mind is very clear, or we say diamond focused. Their concentration is very good. Their memory is very good. They're quick to thinking. They're quick to decision making and knowing what feels right to them. When the spleen energy is a little weak, then there's a little bit of muddiness or cloudiness in our thinking. Maybe a little forgetful, a little difficulty concentrating, a little attention deficit issues, difficulty concentrating, and just get that kind of mental fatigue. So those are some of the main things that the spleen controls in Chinese medicine that we can see in our everyday life is the digestion, the immune system, the muscle strength, and the mind. That's the spleen.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Welcome.